Well, we're always getting into something super exciting here on Focus on 5, and today we have members of the Central Michigan Area Puppetry Club, and I'm so excited because this is about to be a great time. Here with me is John and Tanya. Hi, you guys.
Hi.
Yes, I'm so interested because there are so many different clubs here in our community, but there are certain ones that people just don't think about, and puppetry is one of them. So I'm so happy you guys came, but first, we have to know, how did each of you get into this?
Well, when I was a kid, I grew up watching the Muppets.
Yes, the Muppets
so
are great.
that was a huge influence. And I was always interested in video production and movies. In college, I was a part of a skit show.
Oh, fun.
And so that kind of got me going there. But when I got married, I had kids, and with a job, I didn't get into as much. But with the rise of YouTube, I had an interest in getting back into it. Puppetry was an easy avenue for me.
Well, what about you, Tanya?
The beginning of my story is very similar. I grew up loving the Muppets and Sesame Street, and
the shirt on.
and on that hand, I was always fascinated at how they were made.
Right, like
And
how's
so
it being done?
I kept looking at them like, man, Bert's head looks like a football. I wonder if they used a football. And so it wasn't until I got into my 20s where I started actually trying to build one, and I built a mascot for a local park system, and that was my very first puppet I had ever built. And then from there, I hooked up with some wonderful storytellers and magicians, and they helped me learn some more. Then once again, I got into family life and slowed down for a while. COVID is when I picked it all up again and started building, we've been building puppets ever since.
Oh my gosh, and now here you guys are, part of a club. Well, I don't want to call it a lost art because you guys are still doing it, but you know, I feel like this younger generation aren't really familiar with it unless they're watching these shows. So why do you think that's also important, to kind of familiarize them with puppetry?
Well, with AI and CG, these are ways of producing effects in movies that were far harder, I don't know, 10 years ago. And at the same time that they're cool and sometimes they're more cost effective, they kind of lose that human touch.
Yeah, I was gonna say authenticity.
If you look at it's a different type of puppetry, but if you look at Wallace and Gromit, they talk about, there's a thumbprint where they animate the characters, and that's kind of the old style of work. There's often a human element that was left over, and with CG, you don't really have that. But I think puppetry is on the rise. Look at the Star Wars, where they introduced Baby Grogu. And they're using a physical puppet as opposed to all CG. So there's just a growing interest in it again.